Thanks, Diane. Be interesting to see, just to have a copy of the Constitution in one's possession would be an improvement for a lot of the members of our Congress. And locally, the Indiana Constitution is its own set of study. It's not a carbon copy of the federal Constitution at all. Kevin's next up in Greenfield. Kevin, what's up?
I wanted to talk to you about lobbyists. Right now, there's a big push about earmarks and cutting earmarks out of the budget, etc. And in the last election, it was fairly obvious that we, the people, are not happy with what our legislative body is doing. But lobbyists seem to have a lot more sway than people realize. They spend billions of dollars every year trying to sway the legislative body to legislate in their favor. And generally, it's contradictory to what is right for the people.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You were doing okay till you got to the contradictory to the right to the people. To the
Up in Westfield.
Because there's all kinds of times. For example, right to life people go and lobby like crazy for pro-life legislation.
What kind of changes there is up here?
In the lobby, and they're trying to do what we consider to be the Lord's work. The problem is, Kevin, I know where you're going with this, but what are you going to do? Say it can't happen. That somebody cannot go on behalf of a particular interest and try to tell them about the bill. I mean, they can't spend money on it anymore.
Talk about it. Well, they do spend money on it.
No, you should. The next time Pence or Burton is on, which will be next week, I will ask them, and you be listening. They can't take squat from those guys anymore. I mean, not even lunch.
Legally.
Well, that's felony anyway, Kevin. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater here. I mean, if they're taking money under the table, they go to jail for that. And they get caught. And let me just tell you, the Justice Department loves those things. Now, here's my problem with what Kevin's got to say. And he's right that some of them can get to be too powerful. But what are you going to tell them they can't do? It's already against the law to buy them presents and toys and fancy them up and do cool things for them. That's been wrong for a long time.
Yeah, none of that was
Anytime you decide that you want to start writing rules, laws that proscribe communication or the advocacy for one's point of view, you run right square into the First Amendment. That's what was wrong with campaign finance. I mean, I invite you to talk to Mike Pence's staff, or Dan Burton's staff. You're in Greenfield.
Westfield.
See, who's your congressman, Kevin? Kev? Did I lose him? If he's in Greenfield, he's probably on. Mike Pence is probably his congressman. Either Pence or Burton. And you call them, their offices, and say, "Tell me what the rules are. What can a lobbyist do for a congressman legally?" And you're going to find out the answer is not much. I don't even think they can buy lunch. I mean, we have the issue when Mike or Dan is home, because they're both friends of mine, whether I can buy dinner for them.
Oh, you ain't got to make a U-turn.
I mean, and they're picky about that stuff. The rules are
illegal.
Tight. And I was wanting to have Mike involved in an event that we were going to do at Story.
Very illegal to make a U-turn in a business.
He couldn't have what everybody else was going to get. They got him up against the wall hard. Lobbying is as successful as those who practice it ethically. It is a pariah. It is deadly dangerous for those who would attempt undue influence of any kind. What we didn't know? Well, for crying outside. This guy just called about the lobbyist, doesn't know who his congressman is. Come on, folks. Gee whiz. Heads from the dark places. Come on. I'm taking a break. Holy smokes. Gee.
I'm Larry Downs from 93 WIBC Saturday Open Phones. Central Indiana has an abundance of local businesses, big and small, that impact their communities positively through their superior work, quality performance. 93 WIBC's Small Business Spotlight with Larry Downs can be heard from 93 WIBC News at 7:30 and is presented by your Central Indiana friends at Fifth Third Bank.
It's the end of the year, and like most
most of us, you're probably thinking, it's the end of the year, I should do something big. And like most of us, you're probably considering things like strapping a rocket pack to your backside and fireworking yourself across the Grand Canyon, or stripping naked, lighting your hair on fire, and running wildly through a sporting event just to see how many hits you can get on the internet. Okay, most of us aren't thinking any of those things. Maybe the slightly distorted ones are. For everyone else, there's the Dodge Big Finish of 2010, where you can get a new Dodge Charger, Challenger, Caravan, or
radio, and that's one of those times. Ed, good morning.
Good morning, Greg. I wanted to first thank you for your insight for all of us that use the newspaper and the national broadcasting for our news, which of course is biased, and you keep us well informed.
Just left Westville has a Nobleville now.
Did you happen to hear or read the President's proclamation, Thanksgiving proclamation?
You mean for the turkey? Or the other one?
No. He gives the president every year gives a Thanksgiving proclamation explaining what's been accomplished and thanking God for his guidance and protection. My point is, I've been listening to this or reading it for more years than I care to divulge, and this is the first year that the word God has never appeared or heard.
Oh, is that right?
In the Thanksgiving proclamation.
Is that right?
I was really paying attention.
You're making that up.
Absolutely not.
Have you seen it in writing? And God's name is not in it?
No, I heard it. In our church, we have a Thanksgiving service, and the President's proclamation is read every Thanksgiving from the desk. And the word God was not in it. I was listening intently to see. So anyway, I just wanted to make that point.
Well, I tell you what, my intrepid producer, I can imagine, even though he's down there at the studio on the Circle and I'm at the studios on the Prairie today, I bet his fingers are already flying to Google to see if he can get hands on it, to see if in the written version of it there was a mention of it. But it doesn't surprise me that it's absent for him.
Not me either, but I just wanted to confirm my belief that it wouldn't be. Second thing, Greg, is on this border fence thing. About every day I get 6 to 7 requests for to sign up to fight some kind of a problem and a donation to assist in that. And I received one several weeks ago money to help Robbie against or to get the fence finished. And my response to that was, forget the fence. It's not going to stop them. And my response is, let's put a division, an Army division of infantry on that border.
You're singing my song, Edward. You're singing my bloody song. I've been saying that for 6 years.
Wouldn't cost the taxpayers a dime.
They got to be there anyway.
Absolutely.
Hell, go look at the map and see where Fort Huachuca is. You could set up border protection as a matter of national security, which is what the military is supposed to do. At Fort Huachuca, and that could be the center point for that work to get done, and you could do annual training for reserves and National Guard. They'd get desert training out of it. They'd get weapons and surveillance training out of it when they come to do their 2 weeks, and you stick a division there. Now, Ed, how long have you been saying that, and how many people look at you like you got rocks in your head when you say it?
I've never said it to anyone but you. I've never heard a congressman suggest it either. That's what bothers me.
Well, I've talked about it with Burton and Pence both, and both of them get the heebie-jeebies about it because of posse comitatus.
I know you. I heard you mention it one time. I think it was with Pence, and he kind of wish-washed around it. He didn't give me a positive answer on it.
Well, they get and I guess I don't know whether everybody wants to stay politic. I don't know, but believe you me, I've been saying it, and I continue to say it because. And either you fix posse comitatus, which means you got to put up with the blatherness, new word, in the Congress, or you have a Republican president, a conservative Republican president, who looks at this thing and says, okay, the first thing we do is we stop illegal immigration onto military reservations, i.e. Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Because they pour across that military border. We know that full well. Retired Brigadier General Jim McCoskey has been my guest on the show. He was the commandant of Fort Huachuca when he was in the active army. Jim was 30-some years.
Oh, Nobleville didn't change that
And
much.
he said as much. So the first thing you do is put a division down there and plug that hole. And it's not a matter of civilian law enforcement that we're doing.
Up here on
You
the
count
other
it in
side
terms
of
of
37 and south of
national
37,
security.
basically.
Thanks for the phone call, Ed. I'm glad to know there's one more nut job out there like me that believes some of that stuff. Richard's on the west side. Next up.
Maybe a half hour ago. What was your thinking and kind of the put down on Newt?
I don't like him very well. I've had just enough to do with him. I've interviewed him in person once and interviewed him by telephone once or twice more.
Right.
His ego's too big for his britches. He really lacks humility when it comes to the spirit and the soul of a servant, which a president or leader needs to have.
The field up in Noblesville half the time here.
Those are just personal things. I expect I can get by those. He's probably a hell of a nice guy. You know, maybe I just got off on the wrong foot with him. But he had handlers with him. I mean, I interviewed him in person after he was out of the Congress. He came to town to do something with Dan Burton. And so I'll never forget it. We met up with him out at and they want to check me out, you know, and we're Todd and
I wonder what else is going to happen. I'm waiting on it to ring again.
What's that?
I'm just waiting on the phone to ring. It's the one. South side. I mean, around the east side. Down.
Mentions everything about the blessings from God and mentions deity several times. I'm just wondering what